Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to continue reading the article. Like I said, biometrics is coming down the line at rapid speed right now. This must be resisted at all costs, okay? So I'm going to continue reading this and do what you want with this, okay? But this is what's happening. If you want to mark yourself as their slave, as government property, go right ahead. People that do not learn from history are condemned to repeat it. And this is exactly what they're doing. They marked the Jews during World War II. And now they want to mark us. They're coming up with a numbering system that we have to mark everybody. This is the stop criminals, stop this, stop that. It's a bunch of bull. People that don't know anything are going to go along with this. So I suggest that you do your research on this. The New World Order. They want to have everybody tracked and monitored and marked. This is what they're doing. Okay? So this is all I got to say. This is what's going on. This is what's happening. And I want to continue reading this article. And then I want to talk to you guys about other things. But they've been, like everything that they're doing. They're doing it. It's happening. So this is it. So I'm going to continue reading here. Okay. Global data sharing. Total global enrollment, identification, and financial control depend on a global data sharing system and universal use of biometrics around the world. The creation of such a system is the goal of governments, corporations, in the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, according to DHS spokesman Robert something, who stated, information sharing is approaching around the world, and DHS plans to create a global, that's worldwide, that's the whole world, global security environment of international share biometric data that would permanently link individuals with biometric ID, personal information held by governments. See, that's held by governments. You're not going to be free anymore. You're going to be their slave. Held by governments and corporations. This is crazy. Biometric ties the body. You see that? Can people realize what's going on here? They're getting people conditioned for the mark of the beast, getting people used to paying for stuff with their hands and their face and their eyes. Okay, I'm going to get into this in a minute. Okay. Biometrics ties the body to global financial control. Isn't that a good article? Look at that. Okay. Let me read this to you guys. Okay, right here. Biometric ties the body to global financial control. Revelation chapter 13 from 16 to 17. The Bible warns that the mark of the beast system will apply to all peoples, regardless of social rank, location, or nationality. The incredible research is that reach of this system could only be possible if adopted by all governments. By all governments. They're all working together. By all governments and businesses today. Manning, quote, funds its fulfillment with the merge of two companies, CEDFAN and L1 Identity Solutions, are providing global biometric financial services to businesses and governments. CEDFAN is a French company apparently owned by its government. Yeah, they want to own everything, don't they? They even want to own people. It's government. And with close ties to China, CEDFAN is the world's largest biometric company. L1 is the largest biometric company in the U.S. and holds a vast mandatory on biometric driver's license and passports as of July. This is old, okay? As of July of 2011, but it's still happening. It's still the agenda. It's on the table. It's happening, people. L1 is being sold to Sanfran once completed. The world will have a single company. Look at that. It's a world government, people. A world government. A single company making biometric financial services available to every country to identify every person. They're not identifying me. I'm telling you right now. I'm not going along with this. Identifying every person in the U.S. biometric financial control. They want to control you. They want to control your finances. Is set as social security numbers collected for driver's license are being tied to biometrics with partnership of governments and businesses around the world, and as Congress considers biometrics for banking. Isn't that funny what the Bible says? Buy and sell. And now they're all linking it to the finances, to the banking. Biometrics for banking, workers, ID. Now you need an ID to work. And social security cards. Financial control is transcending from paper ID to body ID. I'm a slave. I'm really proud. How stupid can people be? People need to do their research, man. Do your research. I'm getting fed up. But I have to keep making these videos because I have urgency. Okay, many biometric ID documents such as driver's license, passports, and military ID include RFID radio frequency identification devices. RFID devices are commonly used for product ID, animal ID, and tongue print passes, but are also being used on humans. These devices store data and turn data when scanned. The biometric RFID document allows companies of individuals, biometric information, facial image, fingerprints, etc. With biometric data stored on the RFID devices. RFID chips are already being used in humans. Can you hear that, people? And other technologies such as the SMART RFID ink tattoo. Yes, SOMARK, somewhere in California. SOMARK. RFID link tattoo can be installed on humans. The latter could easily fulfill the requirements of a mark-like device as total international enrollment unfolds. All that is needed to justify a transfer from control ID system to a body ID system is a global crisis. ID theft, pertinent database comprehends, etc. The computer got hacked. Now we need to change the number from on the card. Now we have to put it into the individual. This is what they're doing, people. People need to wake up, man. This is not a joke. This is not a joke, people. This is for real, okay? This is for real. This is what's going on. This is what's going on, people. This is not a joke, okay? The most common biometric related to the parts of the body that are exposed, such as the head, facial recognition, eye recognition, hand geometry, fingerprint imagery, and hand vein. Look at that vein. Look at that, the vein recognition in the past. A human verification ID by comparing the person with the ID document. Photo today. The tide is to accept automatic ID verification performed by the computers based on the head of a hand in Europe and Japan. Hand or fingerprint biometrics are commonly used for ID in concurrent with bank, credit card, or ATM transactions. Head and hand ID are becoming the document forms of ID. This is the last part, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Okay, biometric ID is a number of man. You got to get that. How does the personal biometric financial data store in RFID devices explain Revelation chapter 13 to 18? Biometric ID is literally BIO, which means metric, the body being measured. For example, facial recognition. Use a digital photo to map the face, creating a unique biometric ID number. Numerical response of one's body. Biometric ID number is tied to a personal or financial data. 2. It's crazy. Okay, 2. Create a unique biometric identification concerning the unique biometric ID number. One can say the number is that of a man. Biometric data stored in an RFID device and installed on a human would provide a possible explain for much of this verse. What does the Bible say about world government? It is considered a community held behalf by those of faith that God has limited powers and Satan has limited powers. Evidence in the biblical account of Satan experienced from heaven, Revelation 17:14. It should be no surprise that many Christians see Satan as needing the human tools and technologies privacy mentioned to impose the mark of the beast on human global implementation of biometrics and the development of a world order appear to consult with the Bible account of nations giving up their sovereignty in the last days. Here's the conclusion. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's the conclusion. There are many religions in the world, and there may be found in them all some reason to object to biometric ID. Even among Christians, there are many documents and countless differing views over biblical prophecy. However, this account clearly documents religious objections to biometric ID are justified, and those objections have base in biblical texts. In biblical texts, people. That's the end. That's the end of it. This is worse than 1984. For those of you that read the book 1984, George Orwell, it's worse. You see that tattoos that can go into the body. See what they said? They're gonna make a big crisis to happen. So it's gonna go from the card on to the human being. It's gonna go under the hand, on the right hand or the forehead, and they don't care anymore, people. These people do not care. They said very soon your face is gonna be your new ID. They said your body's your ID, and your finger's a new number. Like I said in my other video that I made earlier today. The guy that walked into a store, he didn't have a credit card, he didn't have cash, he didn't have anything. He just paid with his finger. So his finger becomes a number that's already in the database. So when he put his finger on the biometric scan, the finger scanning machine, it notifies the database and it matches his finger with this fingerprint that is already in the computer. It analyzes it and it matches with that one, and then it automatically takes his cash, well, digital cash, because he has no cash, digital out of the bank, and that's how he pays. Without a credit card, debit card. You think it's cool. Look, I don't have a credit card or debit card. Ooh, I'm cool. No, you're not cool. You see this? They want to mark us as numbers, people. We need to stand up against this tyranny. Did you hear that? Putting marks on our bodies. You're gonna have a special number, unique, and they can put a tattoo mark on us. I'm not going along with this, man. People need to fight this stuff. This is for real. This is what people need to realize. I don't care what you guys think about me. Think I'm crazy. Think I'm whatever. People threw all kinds of stuff at me. But they're going to see this happen. Like I said. It's not because I'm looking into a crystal ball that these things are happening. It's because I read the documents. I saw so many documentaries. And every single thing that these guys said that they were going to do, they're doing it. People need to take these people seriously. And plus, it's all Bible prophecy. God told us that these things would happen. And it's happening. They're getting people conditioned. You see? They're getting new computers that are coming out that you can only go on them if you do a palm scan or an iris scan. They're getting people conditioned by these new cell phones. They just talk to it, and it does voice print, voice recognition. And the FBI says this is the future. The next generation identification is biometrics. It's supposed to be rolling out in 2014 in the United States by summer. You see? This is crazy, people. This is what's going on. So you guys can think whatever you want to think. Do your research. Like I always say, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Everything that I read to you is documented. It's documented, okay? This is what they want everybody to have, a global ID. They want to make us global citizens. We need to pledge our allegiance to the New World Order. Yeah, right. You see what they're doing? Once they have people in the database, they're there for life. And they said by 2017, they're going to have a universal ID database. See that? Universal, the whole world. They're uniting everybody into the matrix system. I'm just excited because all these things are happening right in our time, man. See what they're doing? They're getting people used to paying for stuff with their hand. They're getting them conditioned. It's a normal thing now. There's nothing wrong with it. And then something's going to happen to the computer. They're going to move it from the card into the human, into the hand, into the person's body. Exactly as the Bible said. The mark of the beast. It's all connected to the mark of the beast, people. I'm signing off, and may God bless you all. and resist tyranny. We are the resistors. God bless.